Hey, Gopher fans, it's another edition of Gopher Talk. It's presented by Affinity Plus Federal Credit Union, a locally member-owned full-service financial invested in you. You can learn more at affinityplus.org. I'm Mike Grimm, voice of the Gophers with Gopher Radio and gophersports.com, and the head coach of the Gopher Track and Field program is Matt Bingle. And what an exciting week, Coach. Good to see you.
Hey, how we doing?
Doing great. Yeah.
Good to hear. It's an exciting week. Excited. Been a long time coming. And so it's good to be having the Big Ten meet back on campus and hopefully put some good things out there for people to see.
Now, how long has it been since the U of M has been able to host this event?
2003.
2003. So it's been a while. That was with the old track, and then the old track kind of, continued to fall apart in some cases, literally. And now the beauty is you have this brand new track. The sad news was the pandemic hit. It seemed weather would be a factor. The good news is weather looks to be gorgeous for the weekend ahead. But how much excitement is there? Not just because you have a couple of good teams competing for the championships this weekend, but you get to host it, and you get to now finally, maybe for the first time, really in a true sense, showcase this new Minnesota track and field stadium.
I think there's lots of levels of many things going on here. It's a lot of work for the staff, for the whole department to put on the championship. So we do appreciate that and everybody's efforts to put on a good show for, everybody across the Big Ten coming into campus and to the community, and I think for the alums, obviously, hopefully it's a good time for them to come back. We are trying to do some things for them with some parties and things like that, and just some social things to get everybody reconnected to the team and to campus, and I think that's great. And then obviously for the student athletes, they're excited, almost to the point where I want them to just relax a little bit, and I think too, we're just excited to actually get the meet going. I think once, as you probably know, once the first race goes or the whistle blows or whatever you want to say it, then things get focused in on what we're here for, and that's the competition and seeing what we can do.
Yeah, for sure. And in terms of the new track itself and the chance to showcase it, obviously you guys have been practicing on it now for several years, and you've had a few events there, but nothing as big as this. And maybe the layman that's watching this or listening to this would say, well, isn't a track? And tell us, what it's been like to have the new facility, and has it been the difference maker you had hoped in terms of being right, next to, areas where you would have locker rooms and a facility that can do some things maybe that the other one couldn't?
Well, that's a great question. I think the things that I love about the track, and I think that with recruiting and when outsiders come into the venue, I think it's very unique. It does have the capacity to go up to 5,000 people. It is a true stadium. It's only a track stadium. It is 9-lane. It's the same surface that they run the Olympic trials on, and so it's a great surface. The layout, it's kind of like its own little oasis back there. It's very quiet. You kind of feel like you're just going into your own world, which I think is a great setting. And then, one of the key factors of the facility that I like the most is that there is an indoor track underneath it. Okay. And so nobody in the Big Ten has that, and I think our facility, in my opinion, and I think it's either, number one or number two stadium in the Big Ten in terms of for track, to watch a track meet, the look of it, the layout of it, the space of it, everything. So it's a beautiful facility, and, and we're blessed to have it available. And I think it just, makes you feel special when you turn that corner and you see it.
You've got a couple of good teams you're sending into competition here. Let's talk about the women's team first. They're going for a triple crown of sorts, right? In terms of what they did with the cross country season, the indoor track season, and take us through your hopes and maybe who you guys will be fighting with to ultimately, hopefully, take that trophy home on Sunday on the women's side.
Well, that is correct. We're trying. We've never done that in Minnesota. We're trying to win the triple crown. We've had a couple opportunities before and fell short. So, that's the goal, obviously. And so, but the bigger picture of that is, it is Ohio State and us, and then like Penn State, is in there as well. And so, it'll be a good battle as always. None of these championships are easy. no matter if you win or lose, there's just a lot of things that are happening. There's so many events going on at the same time. There's centimeters and inches and a hundredth of a second separate lots of this stuff. And so, it's a 3-day, battle, of going through all the ups and downs, over 3 days. And so it's a lot of work. But, we feel good about our women's team and where they're at and the work they put in. And I know they know what's at stake, but they also know how they compete best, and they got to keep it simple. So, but we feel good about, who we are. And obviously I think, even when Coach Wilson was the head coach before me, the goal was always to go into a Big Ten meet, and we want to be, always pushing to be in the top 3 and have a shot, and that hasn't changed, and we're blessed to even be in this situation. No matter what happens, I'm thankful for what the team has done.
And then on the men's side, take us through kind of, if you would, this similar thing where you think they might stack up. Who are some of the teams you'll, try to fight it out with here, and what might happen, have to happen if you want to finish where you want to finish?
Well, on the men's side, I would say it's Iowa and Ohio State. And then there's a bunch of other teams right there too. And so we're all in that kind of that group of, say, there's 5 teams who are trying to fight for that top 3 battle, and so we're, again, we feel confident. We have like some tremendous athletes who can push to win some Big Ten titles on both genders, but the men, there's quite a few of those guys as well. And so, again, it's the same goal as the women. We want to make a push. We always want to try to be in the top 3. Both teams were, the men were last year top 3 outdoor again, and so it's the same goal as always, I think we feel good about it. And, I do believe in a home track advantage. You do get bonus points for that. You see it every year, with the whole school. And so we're going to take all those we can get, and hopefully more, and make a good push, because we do want to represent well, because it's, you don't get this event, another 13, 14 years from now, and it's a once in a lifetime thing. I've been blessed to be able to do it twice, and I won't be around for the next one, but we just want to put on a good show, and we want everybody to enjoy the meet and feel the love of the campus, and just make sure it's just well done.
Yeah, and it's fun. I mean, track meets, for those that haven't been there, this would be a great one to come to, because there's going to be so much excitement. Can fans just get tickets at the webpage, Gopher webpage? Is that what you're kind of telling people to do?
Yeah, you can. There's walk-ups, as well, and so you can walk up on the day of, and then you can also just go through. I think there's a Championship Central page on the track and field pages that you can link into, and go that way. And you're going to see some of the best track and field that the Big Ten has ever had. I know in my history of 20 years being here, I've never seen the performances that are on the list for these events. And then you're talking about a lot of great athletes who will be Olympians, or already have been, who will be national champions, All-Americans. If you're just a sports fan, it's a great opportunity to see some of the best competition you'll see if you just love watching people compete. It's it's like watching the Olympics. You get to see people just go after it, and it's something that if it's in your backyard, you'd be making a mistake if you didn't show up.
Right. And you mentioned, it's people competing. Now we're coming off the Kentucky Derby weekend when Strike Rich made this great run down the stretch, an underdog. And, in real life, in terms of track and field, particularly obviously on the track, there's 1 or 2 of those kind of stories every meet, right? Where somebody that you didn't think would win came from, 50 yards back and put a kick, or maybe it's 10 yards back and put a kick, or what have you. And it's that real life drama that you're going to get somewhere this weekend. You're going to get 1 or 2 of those kind of events, right?
Oh yeah, even for the Gopher program, we've had 3 walk-ons turn into Big Ten champions at the same meet. So there's lots of background stories. There's going to be somebody who just out-kicks somebody. There's going to be somebody who out-leans somebody who gets them on the last throw. All those types of things are going to be happening, and that's every Big Ten championship I've ever been a part of. And so the essence of really, that's what's great about our sport, is the essence of it's really you versus me. Something that we've all experienced since we've been little kids. I'm going to race you to the tree, or I bet I can throw this ball farther than you. That's what's happening this weekend. So it represents, in my mind, it represents everybody. since you're a little kid, our sports represents that. Not everybody can play football or basketball, but everybody can race to the tree or see how far I can throw something. And if I can beat you or you can beat me, and that's what I love about our sport. It represents everybody, across the line, no matter who you are. And it's the purest form of competition you have. It's you versus me.
Certainly is, no doubt. Well, hey, we're looking forward to it. Best of luck, and go get him this weekend. Matt Bingle's the head coach of the Gopher Track and Field programs. Our Gopher Talk is presented by Affinity Plus Federal Credit Union. So long, Gopher fans.